All right, welcome back, everyone. We're ready for another deep dive, and this time we've got, well, a pretty interesting mix, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
We're looking at DeFi, global markets, and the sports world,
Right.
all kind of tied together.
Exactly. Yeah, and we're seeing these these major players making some pretty bold moves in each of these areas that could signal some potential shifts. We're going to be talking about micro-strategies, Bitcoin strategy, Pakistan going all in on blockchain, Coinbase heading back to India, Manchester United stadium plans, and the 49ers releasing Kyle Juszczyk. A lot to unpack here.
It is. So let's just jump right in. First up, MicroStrategy. They're basically making a huge bet on Bitcoin, wouldn't you say?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I mean, they just launched this $21 billion stock offering.
Right.
And the plan is to use all that money to just buy up a ton more Bitcoin. I mean, they're aiming for over 500,000 Bitcoins.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating here is that they're essentially acting like a Bitcoin ETF. So it's like a backdoor way for investors to, get exposure to Bitcoin.
Without actually, directly owning it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So by pouring so much capital into Bitcoin, they're really tying their own success to how Bitcoin performs.
Yeah.
And this move could really influence the entire Bitcoin market. I mean,
Okay.
if MicroStrategy succeeds, you could see other companies kind of jumping on the bandwagon and doing the same thing.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, if it backfires,
Yeah.
I mean, that could have some serious consequences.
Absolutely. It's a risky gamble for sure.
It was like it's genius or it's playing with fire.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
There's huge potential upside, but the risks are equally significant.
Oh, yeah.
Bitcoin is notoriously volatile.
Yeah.
I mean, its price can just swing wildly.
Oh, for sure.
And that kind of instability, isn't usually what you look for when you're managing billions of dollars.
Yeah.
Right.
If Bitcoin's value takes a nosedive, MicroStrategy's stock value could plummet too.
Yeah. It's like putting all your eggs in one very shaky basket.
Exactly.
So I think for anyone out there who's, kind of intrigued by Bitcoin, this is a real-time experiment, that you don't want to miss. I mean, watching MicroStrategy's journey could offer some valuable insights.
Oh, yeah. Lots of lessons to be learned.
Maybe some cautionary tales about investing in cryptocurrency. Who knows?
Definitely.
Okay, so let's switch gears completely now and head over to Pakistan.
Okay.
They're really going all in on blockchain technology.
They are.
Especially when it comes to remittances. So that's, money being sent back home by people who are working abroad.
Right. And this is a game changer for a country like Pakistan where, remittances are a huge part of their economy.
Yeah.
I mean, by using blockchain, they could make these transfers so much faster, cheaper, and more secure.
Way more secure, I would think. Yeah, instead of relying on those traditional money transfer services, the ones that charge those hefty fees, people could send money directly to their families. Just using a simple blockchain-based app on their phones.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible when you think about it. And I mean, usually we associate like blockchain innovation with Silicon Valley or London or something.
Right.
But here's a developing nation that's really kind of leading the charge.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. And they're not stopping at remittances, are they?
No, not at all.
I mean, they're working on setting up clear crypto regulations and promoting what they call Web3 development, which is, the next generation of the internet.
Built on the blockchain.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're laying the groundwork for a whole digital revolution.
They are. It's a fascinating case study,
Yep.
I mean, imagine a future where sending money across borders is as easy as sending a text message.
Oh, wow. That would be pretty amazing.
Yeah. And where developing economies can actually leapfrog ahead in terms of, financial technology. It's really cool what they're doing.
Yeah. Pakistan's commitment to blockchain
Yeah.
could really pave the way for a more inclusive and efficient global financial system.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a powerful example of how technology can level the playing field and create opportunities.
On a global scale.
Yeah, on a global scale.
Right.
Okay, so speaking of global markets, let's zoom in on Coinbase. They're one of the world's largest cryptocurrency exchanges, and they're making a comeback in India.
They are.
After facing some regulatory hurdles, that forced them to pull out a while back.
Right.
I mean, India is a massive market for crypto, right?
Yeah.
Over 1 billion people.
A rising middle class.
Yeah, so Coinbase's return is a bold move for sure, but it's not going to be easy.
No, it's definitely not going to be a walk in the park.
India's government has been pretty cautious about cryptocurrency,
Yes.
and the regulatory landscape there is it's incredibly complex.
Very complex, yeah. They're going to need to navigate those challenges very carefully.
Oh, yeah.
For instance, they'll need to comply with India's Know Your Customer and anti-money laundering regulation.
KYC and AML, right.
Yeah, exactly. And those are pretty strict.
Yeah.
I mean, they require companies to verify the identities of all their users.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then, they also need to figure out how to work within India's existing financial systems, which, aren't always very crypto-friendly.
No, not at all.
It's a lot to deal with.
Yeah, it sounds like they're facing a pretty serious uphill battle. I mean, do you think they have a realistic chance of succeeding in India?
It's really hard to say, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, India has the potential to be a huge market for crypto, but that regulatory uncertainty,
Wow.
that's a major hurdle. If Coinbase can build strong relationships with regulators and demonstrate a commitment to compliance,
Yeah.
they might have a shot. But it's high risk, high reward, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is a good reminder for our listeners that, these emerging markets, they often present the biggest opportunity.
It's the biggest challenges.
Yeah, in the crypto world.
Oh, sure.
All right, well, let's leave the world of finance behind for a minute,
Okay.
and let's step onto the hallowed grounds of
Old Trafford.
Old Trafford, the
Yeah.
legendary stadium of Manchester United.
Yes,
They're facing a pretty tough decision right now,
they are.
whether to renovate or rebuild their aging icon.
It's a classic dilemma, How do you preserve history while also embracing the future?
Right, right.
Old Trafford is known as the theater of dreams. It's steeped in history,
Yeah.
but, it's also starting to show its age.
It is, yeah. The facilities aren't quite up to modern standards, and the fans have been wanting improvements for a while now.
Yes, they have.
I imagine the fans are pretty divided on this one.
Oh, absolutely. Some fans are excited about the prospect of a brand new modern stadium,
Yeah.
with all the latest amenities. They want better seating, improved concessions and all the technological bells and whistles.
Right.
But other fans, I mean, they're worried that a rebuild would erase the history and the character of Old Trafford.
That's a good point.
They argue that you just can't replicate the atmosphere and memories that are, ingrained in the current stadium.
Yeah, it's a fascinating debate, and I think it goes beyond just, football.
It does.
It's about how we value history and tradition in a world that's so obsessed with the new and the shiny. It makes you wonder, can you really build a new theater of dreams, or would it just be a different kind of theater altogether?
It's a question that, that many historic clubs around the world are grappling with.
Yeah.
How do you modernize without losing the essence of what makes a place so special?
Right.
The decision Manchester United makes, I mean, it'll likely influence how other teams approach similar challenges in the future.
Definitely a story to watch.
Yes.
Okay, so for our last stop today, we're heading to the NFL,
Right.
where the San Francisco 49ers just made a pretty surprising move by releasing veteran fullback Kyle Juszczyk.
Yeah, this might seem like a minor roster change, but it's actually quite significant.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, Juszczyk is a highly versatile player. He's a great blocker, a reliable receiver, and a key part of the 49ers offensive strategy.
I see.
So his release, I mean, it has everyone in the league kind of scratching their heads.
It does make you wonder what their game plan is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, some speculate that they're planning to shift their offensive scheme, maybe moving away from a run-heavy approach that utilizes a fullback.
Yeah.
Others think they might be trying to clear some salary cap space.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, in the NFL, each team has a limited amount of money they can spend on player salaries, so
Yeah.
releasing Juszczyk, that frees up some of that money.
Exactly, which they could then use to, sign other players.
Right, right. Of course, it's also possible that they're just simply moving on from an older player
Yeah,
and looking to, develop some younger talent.
that's always a possibility, too.
Yeah, it's a reminder that even in a game like football, there's always a lot of strategy and planning going on behind the scenes.
Oh, absolutely.
Every decision has a ripple effect.
It does.
So there you have it. Our whirlwind tour through the worlds of DeFi, global markets, and sports.
Quite a journey.
It is. And it seems like everywhere you look, people are, making these bold moves, taking risks, and just trying to adapt to a rapidly changing world.
That's the key, adapting.
Yeah. What's fascinating to me is is how these seemingly separate worlds are actually, they're interconnected.
They are, yeah. Decisions made in the crypto market, I mean, they can influence global finance.
Absolutely. And what happens in a boardroom, that can impact a historic stadium.
And a single roster move can shake up an entire league.
That's right. That's right. It's a reminder that we live in a complex and interconnected world.
We do.
And here's a thought to leave you with.
Okay.
How might these trends converge even further in the future? Could we see, like, a sports team launch its own cryptocurrency?
It's possible.
Yeah. Or could blockchain technology be used to, like, revolutionize how we experience live events?
Yeah.
I mean, the possibilities are pretty much endless.
They are.
So keep exploring, keep questioning, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.